This podcast is rated IS for incredibly silly and definitely contains bad words, bad jokes, and other bad content that should not be heard by anyone, least of all children. Or maybe it should be. We don't know. We're still not their parents. You're listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal, two nerdy humans who still have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic and all its features. Rest assured, the podcast is, as always, working as intended. This is episode 25, 7.0 updates. Hello, SWTOR players. I am Mal.
And I'm Scya.
And I'm so happy to be here with you, healthy, happy, mostly healthy.
Loving life in 7.0.2, maybe. We got our patch notes when we're recording this, and by the time you listen to it, patch 7.0.2, a fairly large patch, will be out. And you'll be finding out all its quirks, silliness, and things that weren't quite in the patch notes.
Yep, and because of that, this week, it's business time. It's an all-business special report. Dun dun.
I've got my business suit on, and I'm ready to tell you about all the patch notes and what you can expect and look forward to as you log in after 7.0.2. Actually, you're probably already logged in by now, but if you missed it, here's what's in the patch.
First up, and I think the thing that most people were waiting for this patch,
Woohoo!
Weapons in the Outfit tab. Finally. This is a long time coming. It's been 2 months since the launch of 7.0, and now we can all wear our beloved weapons again. Scya, are you excited for this? More importantly, did it work right for you? I haven't really had too much chance to play, but I got $20 on Force users firing lasers from their lightsabers for some reason.
I with the current expansion and its bugs and its updates since then, I really would not be too surprised if we're going to see some major bugs with weapons in the outfit designer. So we got a chance to test it in a test server before it came out. It was mostly working. It had a couple funky things, and I think players are going to be a mix of excited and disappointed for this feature. It's been a long time coming. It's something that a lot of players, especially ones who haven't been around since the game's launch and older MMOs launches, don't understand why it wasn't just there this whole time, especially because it's such a cosmetic feature, especially with level 80 mods not being there. Why wasn't it a part of 7.0 in the first place? It doesn't feel like an update. It just feels like, damn, just fixing something that felt broken.
Picking up all the turnips that fell off the truck.
Yeah, exactly. That sums it up pretty good.
Fuck your weapons here. How we finally caught up to you guys. Oh, it was a hard run behind the truck.
The cool news is, though, this is a feature that longtime players, even before the level 80 mods issue, have really been wanting, like really excited about it. There's a lot of players who are like, woohoo, weapons in the outfit designer. Oh my God, I wrote to BioWare about this 7 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, BioWare has been wanting this for years and years and years and years. And there's just been, we don't know the exact details. There's been some type of technical hangups. I assume it has something to do with different classes have different weapons versus armors. All classes wear all armors. Made it really difficult to do. And we know that them adding combat styles and the ability to switch between them probably made that even messier.
Yeah, that's probably the culprit.
Right. So we're very excited to see it. It won't be the dream that I think most players had for weapons in the outfit design. It's a very simplified version of this concept. You can only have one weapon per outfit from the test server. You still can't, wield a double-bladed lightsaber if you're supposed to be holding a single one. You still can't add tunings to old weapons that don't have tuning slots, or you still can't ignore restrictions on crystals or anything like that. It just works of, if you have a weapon in your inventory that you could normally equip, you can now slot it into one of your outfits, which is still pretty freaking cool. I'm very excited to see what types of weapons people start equipping now that they have a choice again. And not only can they choose the old cartel market or adaptive weapons from before, but now pretty much anything in the game they can use.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that's what we were getting, though, when they first announced it. We knew that
I
you wouldn't
don't-
be able to hold a double-bladed lightsaber if you only had
you
a
would
single.
be surprised. There's totally going to be some players having a meltdown about it. I can guarantee it.
They have a meltdown over everything. Here's another thing to have a meltdown over, or maybe this will fix the meltdowns. They're changing the names of the 1,000 content currencies that they created with 7.0 to make it more obvious what it is. I would argue that it's obvious already what the mats are and where they come from based off the vendors and what you have to give the vendor. The Flashpoint vendor asks for Decurion isotope stabilizers.
You think this is clear and
but-
obvious? Oh my god.
No,
Mal.
it's not clear and obvious. It's long and stupid. But, I guess they're going to fix them now. It's fine. I get it. Because, a lot of people own pets. Like, they own a cat. And you say, what's your cat called? And they say, my cat is called Cat.
And if you have a dog, what would you name your dog in this case?
Dog.
And if you have a crafting currency that you get from operations, what might you call it?
I think instead of hazardous matter catalyst, we might call it Op1 catalyst.
Oh, and what about a PvP currency? What might you name that?
How about WZ1 accelerant?
Oh, I think you're onto something here.
Oh, man.
What would you call a flashpoint currency?
Wait. FP1 stabilizer.
So the idea was that these currencies, they were having some unique names. They are called things like Decurion isotope stabilizer, Thursian production accelerant. Half of these, I'm not even entirely sure if I'm pronouncing them right because I've never heard a developer say them. And they simplified the names. It's kind of funny though, because all the guide makers have already created guides about how the gearing system already works, including myself. And now we're going to have to go back and change them all. So people have already learned the names. I don't know if it's going to be useful to change them at this point because everyone will have to kind of relearn the names. But ideally, it would be helpful for new players coming in. Hopefully, they don't find those old guides or advice from other players.
Right. And what did they decide to call the aquatic resource matrix?
Oh, no. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to make it up in my mind. If I was going to call it something, I'd call it a daily resource matrix.
Oh,
Boom.
Wow. I am in awe of you. Okay. I got one more for you.
Okay.
Medal of Commendation.
Where do those come from? Oh my god, they come from Conquest. Let's make those a Conquest commendation. And boy, do we have some great news about those for you.
Oh, you are so smart. You're so smart to name those mats the way
Thank you.
did. Yeah,
My mom thinks so too.
Aw, moms are the best. Speaking of Conquest commendations, those mats that I don't know about you, but I'm literally drowning in them with nothing to spend them on. Let's take a look at how that's going to be remedied. First off, you can now hold 2,500 of the fuckers at a time.
Up from 999.
And the weekly cap, now 1,500. And that used to be
999.
99. I love that show. Anyway, right now, in addition to that, they can also be exchanged for the precious tech fragments at the spoils of war vendor on the fleet. And what's that exchange rate going to be, Scya?
1-to-1. So if you've got 50 commendations, you can turn them in for 50 tech fragments, and you can use those to spend them on. There's a ton of cosmetic stuff, armor, weapons, mounts, pets, and there's also your implants you need them for. Or you can go throw them at the spoils of war vendors. We'll talk more about those later.
All right. What's your opinion about that? What do you think?
I'm excited because I also hit that cap, and I think everyone else is too. The cap being raised was what a lot of players were asking for, but I think they went even one up, allowing us to actually spend those commendations on something. And those are quite easy to get. All you have to do is complete Conquest on a character. And right now, if you complete Conquest on 5 characters, bam, you hit the cap and you probably didn't have anything to spend it on.
Right. So that is so awesome. Now, speaking of tech fragments, another great change they are making, and I've kind of been putting off leveling up a lot of things with tech fragments because I knew this was coming. They're making it so much easier for people to obtain tech fragments by playing all aspects of the game and not just GSF. So I'm going to start it off. Of course, it's me. We're going to start with operations and how much better those are now. Saya, story mode ops. Was there a point to doing those before this
There
patch?
kind of was before, but not necessarily for tech fragments. You could get these gear from the bosses and disassemble it, and you'd mostly be getting that special, now about to be called OP-1 something or other currency. But tech frags, it wasn't really in it for you. As Mal mentioned, you would get a lot more tech fragments from other activities, particularly running Galactic Starfighter for the weekly. You didn't even have to win, just run 4 matches, even if you were maybe able to shoot 1 or 2 people and crashing into an asteroid most of the time. What do you get now, Mal?
Have you been watching videos of my GSF matches?
No, I've just been watching the rest of my team.
I was probably on your team, floating along.
It's been a lot of fun, though. I am going to be kind of sad to see a GSF phase out for a little bit, but it should still pop up because of Galactic seasons every once in a while.
So it's Friday night. I'm going to hop into a casual story mode op, drink my drink, play my music. What is a story mode op now going to give me by the time I complete it? What's the net there?
Is this pre or post taxes? No, I'm joking. 2,000 tech fragments is what you're going to get from it.
Under the table tech fragments.
So it's a good reward. Yeah.
It is, yeah. And all the ops have this now. They have this, if you complete it, you're going to get this net amount of tech fragments because each boss is going to drop a set amount of tech fragments. So if your story mode, say the first boss is going to drop 150 tech fragments when, its body hits the floor, and the amount increases. And by the time you hit the last boss, they're falling over and leaving you 550 tech fragments. That's a lot of tech fragments for a story mode op because a lot of those with a good group, you can blow through.
Under an hour, even with a casual group, as long as you've got someone to keep things moving.
Right. And veteran mode, even more. You'll get 2,500 by the end. First boss starts at 200. The last one goes all the way up to 650. Master mode, I don't really know who's sweeping master mode ops these days, but you will get 3,000 for a clear. And that sweet Nephra will be giving you 225 tech fragments. And the Nightmare Brontes will be dropping you 850.
Right. I'm really excited about this change because right now I run a lot of casual groups, less on the master mode side of thing. If you run something harder or something you're not sure if you'll finish, there's a good chance you really won't get your reward at the end. Right now with my casual groups is I look for what is the operation of the week, because if you complete that in story mode or in veteran, doesn't matter, whatever your group's up for, you get a box, a guaranteed box at the end that has a guaranteed upgrade at the end. So for many players, it's very, very valuable, and that's the one we pick to run. And if we, for whatever reason, can't complete it, we don't get anything. We also sometimes have friends jump in halfway through because we lost somebody, and since they didn't do every single boss, they really don't get a lot of rewards because they didn't complete all the way to get the box. So they'll get tech fragments for every boss that they did, and if we don't complete it, you'll get tech frags all the way up to the last boss. That's great, especially for veteran mode where your chances of completing it can go way down depending on your group.
Right, absolutely. I still think that operations thing is a bunch of crap that they need to address. I don't know why they're so stuck on, oh no, but people will do last boss lockouts. And then they'll get 65 op mats, and what will we do when people upgrade their gear faster? Because it's
I'm sure
garbage.
Someone did the math there. I know
what if you
last boss
forget?
lockout was never really in the plans of what they were expecting us or hoping for us to do, though. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, it kind of sucks though, like, oh, you better make sure you got the mission before you go in.
Right. It is very tedious. Right. I agree.
You kill one boss and then what? Like, that just sucks if somebody forgot the mission or their log was full and they didn't notice.
Mm-hmm. We've been having that come up a lot lately. If we're doing a story mode, for 15 people, we'll just go in. And if someone wants to join us, they can join us later. And they don't get that box at the end. It's quite disappointing.
It kind of sucks. And I wish that they would address that.
I feel like there's a solution somewhere. There's got to be a balance between last boss lockout. And I say this as someone who benefited a lot last season or last expansion from last boss lockouts. There's got to be somewhere in between. I'm not sure exactly what that would be. Maybe we'll see something in the future.
We'll see. All right, so what if you're lame and operations aren't your cup of tea? No, I'm
Great
just kidding.
news. Man, operations are still my favorite part of the game. I think you're lame if you don't go in them. But
I do a lot of stuff. I'm just kidding. But go on.
Speaking of being lame, by the way, we've gotten back on track with Team Chaos. So if you ever want to feel like not being lame, this is a total segue. I don't think anyone's actually lame. If you want to come try operations, we're running them every Monday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. PST or California time, Pacific time, on twitch.tv/Swtorista. And we're specifically trying to prioritize players who are newer, who haven't run them before. But if operations are really just not your cup of tea, let's talk about what you can do with other ways of getting them. So, tech fragments from individual daily areas and heroic missions, so like CZ-198 quests or a single heroic mission, have been increased from 10 to 30. That's a big increase.
Most of them have 5 to 7 missions. 5 missions, that's 150 tech fragments right there.
This is in addition to what you receive when you complete the weekly quests for those areas, which is, like Mal said, a big chunk of tech frags. Completing Conquest will now give you 500 tech fragments, up from 250. So just doing your Conquest, which is pretty much any activity you want to run, will get you a whole bunch. And the only one that's getting decreased is Galactic Starfighter Weekly will now only give 850 instead of 1,000. So it got decreased, but not by a ton. So if you like running Galactic Starfighter for tech frags, you're still going to get a huge bundle from it.
I'm pretty happy about this. Because I did not like that GSF was the best way to get those tech fragments. It was so restrictive. And that's probably why I've been so sick lately. Spending too much time out in space, flying around, doing my head in. But now we can move on to another change that I fully endorse, even though I don't even really play this part of the game.
I'm so excited about it. As someone who plays very casually, I'm so excited about it.
PvP mission changes. When this patch dropped, what a fuck you to all the PvPers when this patch dropped. That you got nothing.
A long time ago. This was not even this expansion. This happened I don't even remember when, so long ago.
No. In prior patches, if you lost, you still got 1 towards your weekly. This patch, you lost, you got nothing. Nothing. You get nothing. Willy Wonka style. You get nothing. Unranked war zones are a fucking crapshoot. You can be the best PvPer in the world. If you are saddled with 6 people and this is their first day in SWTOR, you are boned. Why even play? Why bother playing war zones?
Right, so why does this change matter? So previously, if you lost a match, you got no progress towards your weekly. It didn't matter if you lost 1 match or 40 matches, you still got no progress. This was a very demoralizing thing. The idea was that was in place to prevent people from just queuing up for a match, standing in the corner, or just doing the minimal amount required to not get automatically kicked out of the match, And it seemed to have worked pretty good for ranked PvP, as far as I understand. But for unranked PvP, as Mal said, it is a shoot in the dark about whether your team will win or not sometimes. I have personally experienced this, and I have also specifically complained to BioWare about it because I think a lot of players probably experience it too, is you play 4 matches that day, you lose all of them. As a casual player, that could be 50% of your playtime for the week. How the heck are you supposed to catch up and actually finish that weekly, especially with it resetting? Before, your weekly could last months, and that was fine for me. I was like, I'll eventually complete it. It's fine. If I lose 2 matches today, I'll just pick it up next week, But now wins do count for a small amount towards your total progress for the week. So you can decide, I'm not sure exactly how it would work. I think it will be 12 matches if you lost every single one of them. Not 100% clear. We'll have to see after the update. It'll be 10.
Is the weekly 10? I thought the weekly was 10. No, was it 12? Because it's 3. But they might have changed it.
Either way, you can decide.
Yeah.
You can decide if you're willing to play that many matches during the week, if you lost every single one of them, and then be happy and excited if you happen to win some of them. I'm going to brag. Mal, can I brag?
Yeah, let's go.
So after I saw that a little while ago that this was going to potentially be a thing, I wanted to try out some PvP, see how I felt about it. I won 4 matches in a row.
Nice.
I was like, What? After
Nice.
experiencing a lot of 4 losses in a row weeks.
Aw, well, now you'll get something for those losses. That could have been your
Yay!
weekly.
I know,
So
right?
proud of you. So
Very
proud
proud.
of you. So, and also now the rewards have been upped.
Oh, really?
Yes, on weekly
Nice.
completions, you used to get 55 Warzone mats, 450 tech frags, and 8 daily mats. Can you imagine in GSF you can just fly around doing nothing and get 1,000 tech fragments and a piece of gear? And in PvP, you suffer through a billion matches.
Right. It was not
God.
balanced by any means.
So now you will get 110 Warzone mats, 1,500 tech frags, and 20 daily mats, not to mention the daily missions that used to give 75 tech frags will now give 150.
So really nice. They kind of looked at the activities players were doing the most and tried to balance them out for time and effort, I think, a little better.
Right. Like, fucking thank you. Hope it's not too late and all the PvP players haven't already quit. Because, my God, what were you thinking?
No. All the PvP players have been in Galactic Starfighter, so now they can jump back into PvP.
Thank God. Leave this nonsense behind. Oh.
Okay, so we're going to take a shift now and talk about very important materials and crafting change, especially related to tech fragments as well. Gold augments, the best augments in the game, were introduced towards the end of the last cycle, and they were incredibly expensive to make. They're still going to be incredibly expensive, but there's been some changes in 7.0.2 that might make them more accessible to you, or may help you make some more credits. They took originally 7 of the OEM materials that only drop from Nightmare Mode operations, and they also cost 14 RPM, mats that only came from Ranked PvP. Later, they introduced a method where for 10,000 tech fragments, you could purchase one of those 2 materials. So 7.0.2 is going to completely remove those materials from operations and PvP, and they will now be for purchase only on a vendor for 4,000 tech fragments for 1. They have reduced the requirements to make the augments themselves as well down to 5 OEMs and 5 RPMs, bringing the total to 40,000 tech fragments for 1 gold augment. So if you are an intense player doing Nightmare Mode ops, doing ranked PvP, just wanting to go full crazy on gearing up, it's a little more accessible now. Maybe it's a little more possible for you, especially if you're grinding out those tech frags in ways that are easier to get now. So 2,000 tech frags for a story mode. How fast can you get to a gold augment? If you are wanting to make money, cash money, especially if you're a very casual player who doesn't earn tech fragments very fast, if you've already got your implants or whatever cosmetic stuff you wanted to get, you can spend 4,000 tech fragments and go get one of those materials to sell them. They may go down in price because they're more purchasable, but they also may stay steady because more people can actually use them to make augments before they were too hard to get a hold of. So we'll see how that goes. It's an interesting change.
These augments are so fucking stupid. Do you know how long it would take you to get 40,000 tech fragments?
I don't know, and I don't care. I got one for my birthday, and I'm not getting the rest.
Yeah, like, I just don't get it. I don't know why they doubled down so hard on these gold augments. Is it somebody's love child? I don't understand. I mean, I guess it is a good stat boost. Yes, if you're into min-maxing and all that stuff. But my God, like the mats it takes to make. And now you can't even get them from doing activities.
I am the wrong person to ask. I am not even the right person to ask at all. I've never gotten one from an activity, no matter how many Nightmare Mode runs we went on.
No,
because
really?
I always passed because I figured you guys needed them more than me.
Oh, no, but it became just group loot. So you should probably check your inventory.
Oh, you're saying I might actually have some? Oh.
Yes, because when you loot, it would just go to your materials.
Oh, you can't make this up. And you know what else you can't make up?
This weekend, you can't make this Sith up. The Pug Raid Leader. In a recent trip to the Eternity Vault, a very good but very sick DPS, who shall remain nameless lest she spread her disease to the rest of the galaxy, pulled up to the first boss with a group of 16 people, one of whom was a pug. It started on the first boss, a heel marker placed under the feet of the annihilation droid. Okay, sure, the DPS thought. That's a good place to gather for AoE heals. While waiting for a speeder to the second boss, another marker appeared. By the speeder. Yes, obviously, that's the speeder to ride. On the way to the third boss, more markers appeared. One at the foot of a cliff used to bypass trash, another farther down the road to lead the way. Then more markers appeared on the terminals for the pylon boss, and at this point, people were annoyed. Who's putting down all these markers? Someone asked. Oh, it's the pug, someone else answered. On the way to the last boss, someone wondered if the pug would again place markers on the ground to lead the way, and, sure enough, they did. Thank you so much, the coughing DPS typed into Ops chat. She then proceeded to place upwards of 20 markers on the platform in various and sundry spots. At this point, everyone else in the group joined in, and soon there were markers everywhere. On the last floor, the tired, sniffling DPS made one last-ditch effort. She placed markers around the entire lower ring and told the group, "Now, these are where the mine traps might spawn at any time, so please, be aware." After Soa was defeated, the sick DPS pulled up the parser to find she was doing overall 2 times the damage of the pug. Perhaps this pug thought that this was our first time in Eternity Vault. It is, after all, only 10 years old. Perhaps they thought the group needed guidance and direction for this extremely challenging operation. This reporter can only offer the following advice for pugs doing bad DPS in a very large group. Shut the f*** up and get carried.
If you're the kind of player who is terrified of meeting a player like Mal in an operation and therefore you have never stepped foot into one at all and have no plans to.
It was hilarious. We were laughing. We were laughing so hard. At one point, someone was like, I can't even DPS because I'm just sitting here laughing and putting markers down.
I like all the markers. I can see that happening. That's a wonderful story. That's one of those operations you cherish for a long, long time.
It was very funny. We still talk about that guy. Oh.
But sadly, if you play alone, you don't get these types of experiences. You're
flying solo. All right, here are some little changes where when we were making the notes, Scya said, Did you put this? Did you put this? And I was like, no, I don't care about that. That's why the good people of Swtor have you.
Although the big update for 7.0.2 will be Weapons and Outfit Designer, which is for everybody who likes Space Barbie, and the Tech Fragment stuff, which is more for level 80 players focused on gearing up. There is a lot of smaller changes with this update, especially if you're playing solo, especially if you're playing higher level stuff, you may really appreciate. So first off, a very important one. A lot of players have been experiencing issues with companions and different planetary content like Osis or Iocath and stuff like that. So they didn't say there was like an ultimate fix with this update, but one important one is fix an issue where companions were missing attacks, taunts, and heals, as well as some of their stats. So hopefully that will help you out, you players who have been saying, my companion has not been taking care of me lately. For specific bites, if you are having trouble with Chapter 4, Where Dreams Die in Knights of the Eternal Throne with the Purifier droids, this has been like a constant issue. So many players posting, why are these Purifier droids just kicking my ass?
It's where your dreams die. I didn't say where your dreams live.
It's very ironic. Whatever reason these Purifier droids were broken after the rebalancing, they should be updated again with 7.0.2. So if you're getting stuck there, go give that another shot. Another thing that broke along the way somewhere was if you are doing the Alliance Alert, the last of his kind with Broodmark, the big white fuzzy guy, he was hostile, so you couldn't talk to him in the cutscene. I had someone mail me about this, and I didn't understand what they were talking about. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know. But yeah, this has been fixed. Buddy who emailed me, you can go talk to Broodmark and kill him after the cutscene instead of before.
Airlock.
I don't know how much this was. Bye. Smash Master Airlock. If you're having trouble with Star Fortress story modes, there was an invisible ephemeris droid. I don't exactly know what was going on there, but it has been removed, so maybe that will make things easier for you as well. And then this one, I don't know how much it will affect your level sync, but this bullet point says, fixed the issue where armor values were sometimes incorrect when shifting the level of a player. This occurred if the player was being shifted to an item rating that did not exist for the quality of the item they were wearing. I don't know if that's just a visual thing or an actual fix, but go play something that was hard and come back and let me know.
Speaking of level shift, I don't think we brought it up when we talked about PvP, but they fixed that as well for PvP. When
Nice.
you level shift down, that is correct. Whatever way is correct, because I don't PvP. It's correct now, or it should
If
be.
you should be, keyword. There's also been a very funny update, which Mal had never seen before, and that is fixed texture issues on the following weapons. If you're experiencing this bug, you are well aware. It looked like a big green orb saying "Missing Granny" all over your your blaster. The most common one people were experiencing. Mal's just like dying in the background.
Why
I'm
would
sorry.
you want to fix that? That's so funny.
Sometimes when this bug happens, it's just a bug with your specific files and they need to be repaired. But nope, this was everybody who was wearing one of the blasters from the Rishi content. If you're a solo player, we talked about it earlier, but your commendation cap for your medals of commendation is going up. That's specifically kind of known as the solo player currency at level 80. So enjoy that going up and know that you can spend them on tech frags now, which can get you a whole wide variety of stuff, even if you don't care about gearing at all. Lots of cosmetic stuff available. And they also mentioned some changes to Flashpoints. So for Veteran Mode and Master Mode, which are the group ones, for the Chiss Flashpoint, Umbara, and Nathema Flashpoints, those got rebalanced. Basically, they got less health, so they're less annoying to run. But if you're having trouble with Spirit of Vengeance, specifically in solo mode, that one has also been adjusted. And lastly, for those collectors and fashion lovers who are going back to Kai Zyken to buy those boxes of randomized gear for the old set bonus cosmetic pieces now for level 75, or if you're a weirdo still stuck at 75, those will actually give you gear now. They are fixed, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but they cost tech fragments to buy, and I'd like to complain because I was telling Scya when 6.0 came out and we got all these new set bonuses. The set bonus items that you could get from doing content on Ossus were available on a vendor for credits. Why do these cost tech fragments? I feel like they're duping people because it's not good gear. It's worthless.
It's cosmetic. It's cosmetic.
I feel like I don't care. You're scamming people out of their tech fragments that they could use for other things. I think they're just mad because they made 1,000 set bonuses for the last patch and people only wore like 2 of them from each class.
Hey, I'm collecting them for achievements. Leave me alone.
Stop scamming people. They should just cost credits and not tech fragments, or a lot less tech fragments than they cost right now. I find that greedy and stupid. And I don't even know why it's greedy, because it's not like, I'm lining my pockets with tech fragments at the BioWare office. It's stupid.
Speaking of lining your pockets, we've got the news coming up.
You heard it here last.
So we've got some great news. Obviously, if you're listening to this, update 7.0.2 is out, with weapons in the outfit designer being the big exciting news thing. We're looking forward to update 7.1, which should include the new Manon daily area and the new operation. I don't have a date for that at the time of recording, but I don't know, in the next month or two. Who knows? And however, on May 3rd, lasting until May 10th, probably to celebrate May the 4th be with you, there will be a double XP event for a week. So enjoy a full week of double XP and double valor and cry your tears of no double renown.
Right, there's negative renown. No, I'm just kidding. There's none. There's 0 renown.
Don't forget, you can also combine pretty much any type of XP boost you have with this event, so have fun, especially those of you who are working on leveling up your 75 characters to 80. Probably the fastest way to do that is to run the Manon content.
Yeah. There's a couple people who have asked me, did they fix things yet? Can I start leveling now? Because some people legitimately have just not played. They're like, I'll just wait a couple months. I'll unsub and wait a couple months till it gets fixed. So I told someone it's a lot easier now to get stuff. So if you'd like to start, it's a pretty good time now. It's not great. If you want to hold off for the new daily area, fine, but it's a pretty good time now.
7.0.2 has fixed a lot of the bugs, especially some of the worst ones. One of the biggest questions I get in a similar vein is the Malgus bug fixed? The answer is mostly for a lot of people it's fixed, but a lot of people are still reporting it's broken. And then a lot of players are saying, have they backtracked on the whole pruning ability tree thing? And the answer is no, that's not an update you're going to see ever. Sorry.
No, and that's a conversation for another day about how many of the legendary items do not work.
Oh, are you talking about implants?
The implants, the set bonuses on some of the legendary implants do not work.
So we'll see you guys later, and I hope 7.0.2 didn't bring too many bugs and you're enjoying the weapons and outfit designer. See you guys later.
Take care. See you later.
You've been listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal. We know you have your choice of podcasts, and you chose the right one. New episodes drop every Friday on Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Swtorista's YouTube channel, and just about every other podcast platform in existence. For show notes, pictures, and other information, visit starforgepodcast.com. Hit us up on Twitter at StarforgeCast. We love hearing from you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next week.
Please add news in later.
I have news!
Hopefully there's news.
I have news!
Well, you didn't write it in the paper.
That's because I had better things to do.
I'm just going off the script.
I was busy placing markers down around the ring.
Oh my God.